and welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. On to this second segment of the show, I'm going to be talking to Clint Asena, who's a podcaster from the Xtra Time football. Clint, welcome to the show. You're making a debut on the show.
Thank you so much.
Just off air, we're having a conversation about you being a Manchester United fan.
Yes, and if I sound a bit biased, I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's allowed.
Yeah.
For once, I thought maybe if a guest comes to the show, you're going to have probably an Arsenal fan, because I think we already have enough Manchester United fans in the studio.
Recently, we just seen Liverpool fans come out of nowhere, because I've never seen Liverpool fans in Kenya before.
Yeah.
I mean, just raised up from nowhere. So
that's interesting, because right now, all of a sudden, everybody is putting on a Liverpool jersey, you know, celebrating left, right.
Exactly, and you can imagine for us Man United fans, we are so... Us and Liverpool don't get along, so we like seeing Liverpool fans rise out of nowhere just makes us a bit more angry. We want to, and they actually threw us off our patch, because we currently have 19 Premier League titles to our 18. So, yeah, it's something we have to deal with right now.
Yeah, do you think the same form is going to be seen in the next season, or it's still too early to talk about that?
Well, considering they've been now linked with Thiago Alcantara, and he's a very good player from Bayern Munich, and Klopp usually trusts his first 11 to take care of the job, and he usually has the same 11 for each and every game. I believe they need to strengthen their squad. Like I'm sorry again, I'm comparing to Man United, like the great Sir Alex Ferguson.
I'm not even surprised, you know.
Like the great Sir Alex Ferguson, every season he used to refresh his squads. So I believe if he's a good coach, he'll bring 2 or 3 players to just freshen up the squad a bit, because these players are tired, and they're usually so tired.
Okay, so talking about, just delving before we get into the topic of the day, just talking about Liverpool, they won the league, and then the next fixture that they had with Manchester United, they lost that particular
Manchester
fixture.
City.
Manchester City, they lost that particular fixture. What did you make of that? Was it complacency, or is it just a case of being in good form?
I think Liverpool over-celebrated the winning of the league. I think there had too many beers at that time, so coming to the game, they assumed, we can do this. We've beaten them once before, so we can do it again. But credit to Pep Guardiola, he's actually the coach who galvanized that team and tell them, these guys are the champions. We should show them that next season we are coming for this league. It's just not a walkover for you again. But that was, excuse my language, but that was a thrashing, in my opinion. They just battered them, like from the first minute to the last minute. It could have actually been worse. It could have been 6 or more. Yeah, 6 or more. And Liverpool actually had their chances. They weren't that bad, but I can just say they were complacent in they're playing the game. So it happens. Every champion usually has that level of complacency once they're in the league.
Yeah. I think we've also experienced that even in the World Cup, the previous World Cups, where a team that won the previous year, when they come back, they usually call it the Champions Cup.
Yes.
Where you win the competition, then the next time you're going into that same competition, you end up losing. Probably being knocked out at the beginning stages of the competition. Now, maybe if we delve into the topic of the conversation. Right now, the league is totally closed. That one is locked. It's in the closet for Liverpool. The competition that is going now is between who's going to go to the Champions League,
and the Europa League.
Yeah, and the Europa League. So, looking at the way the table stacks up at this particular time, what do you make of the way, any surprises that you're expecting from the way the table is standing at the moment?
Well, talking of surprises, you can say that Wolves and Leicester City are quite a surprise to be in the top 4 right now, in the conversation of actually Champions League. But games are coming thick and fast, and as a football fan, we are excited to see these games week in, week out. We were talking off air, we were saying that Spurs actually have 3 games this week. So good for us football fans, we're at least seeing these games happening. But I'd say that form plays a big part in this time of the Champions League. So from, I believe, 3rd to 9th, you can't predict, because those teams are actually playing against one another, and they're playing teams who are actually fighting relegation. So form plays a big part, and the team with the best form, we believe, will take this Champions League position. And I believe it's still 5th that Champions League applies because of the Man City ban and everything.
Which is going to the Court of Arbitration this weekend.
And we hear that the deliberation will come up at July 17th, I think, the final decision.
Yeah.
So you can fight still fifth, but I believe form will play a big part. And the best team in the best position right now, I believe, is Manchester United.
Okay.
Because I know you're smiling and thinking that I'm just biased towards Man United, but it's true. The team
I already told you I want to be surprised. You know, like on today's show, I'm just expecting every conversation to probably be in support of Manchester United. But,
okay,
but it's allowed for once. But it's allowed. It's okay.
We can also break down the team according to form. So I believe the first team with the best form is Man United. The second team, I believe the team that will not move is Chelsea. Because Chelsea are just proving to be stubborn. They won that Champions League, and considering they're buying players next season, and they've already bought players for next season in Ziyech, in Werner from Germany, and Pulisic, who's currently there. That would be a very deadly attack, and I can't wait to actually see it. So I'd say number one is to finish in the top four. Fourth will be, of course, Chelsea. Leicester will still stay at third because I believe they've picked up form. And as of yesterday, they actually won the game. They drew the game against Arsenal, but they had so many chances.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. So talking about the issue of form, there are three players that have been in top form the past couple of games. That is that is Vardy. Pulisic has been on top form, and then there is Greenwood, who's been on top form. Talking of Greenwood, there's been a conversation of people comparing him to Wayne Rooney. What do you make of that, being a Manchester United fan? Do you agree with those sentiments?
I usually don't like when people compare players to former players. They usually say he's the next Wayne Rooney, he's the next Messi, he's the next Ronaldo. Why can he not be the next Greenwood?
Okay.
Why can he not be the next Rashford, the next Pogba? So I believe Greenwood is making his own career at the moment, and we usually forget the guy is 17. He's 17 years old?
He's 18.
He's 18. He's 18 years old currently.
18.
So he's just learning the game as well. But considering he's scoring goals left, right, and center, and I couldn't be happier as a Man United fan. He can score with both feet. I think the only goal he hasn't scored is his head. His head.
I was actually watching an analysis where one of the analysts from Sky Sports was alluding to the fact that when Mason Grade is playing in the field, it's actually very hard to tell which is his strong foot, because he seems to be switching so effortlessly between one foot to the other. Still sticking on Mason Greenwood, there is the whole conversation about the top scorer of the season at the moment. Do you think he's gonna make the cut?
Considering Jamie Vardy is now on 22 goals, I believe, and Aubameyang is a close second with 21. I don't think Mason Greenwood will make 20 goals this season. He's not at the level yet. But considering the front three he's playing with, and the fact that Bruno Fernandes has come to the team and actually just galvanized the whole squad and made everyone better, which is actually a surprise, because I can't believe one player can make
the whole team
10 other players better, apart from the goalkeeper, who I have beef with, by the way. Yeah, so I believe he can make 19 goals at most this season, because talking about 20 and we have other competitions to play in, he'll be rested, of course, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to rotate his squad. He has a big squad at the moment, but he'll bring in Daniel James here and there, Lingard here and there, because the squad is quite large, and right now you can see then like 9 substitutions, 5 substitutions that can be made, 9 players on the bench. So squad rotation will play a big part to Man United actually going for Champions League football.
Okay, so I think I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way. So
why am I here? Why am I here, man?
You're in the right place, don't worry. So talking about Arsenal, the form of Arsenal teams seems to be fluctuating. Like one moment we'll play a game and we win, and then the other fixture it's either a draw or we lose. I know probably you'll probably be hoping that we lose most of our matches, basically. But from your standpoint, what do you think that the Arsenal team is lacking for it to be a consistent team throughout the fixtures that they have?
In my opinion, I think Arsenal don't have an identity. Arsenal don't know who they are at the moment, because under Unai Emery, you couldn't tell what they were doing. They start a game, they pack the bus, they're attacked from first minute to last, and then they have glimpses of them attacking. But you don't know what Arsenal do on the pitch. You see, for example, like, let me use Man United again.
Okay.
For example, they have an identity. They're an attacking team. They go all out. The front five, they know their role. I think Banan, the defenders, who need to be strengthened, they don't know their role at the moment. But Arsenal don't have an identity. But I believe Arteta has the right idea. You can see what he's trying to do when he's actually putting the first 11 out. And by the way, I don't know how the situation is with Ozil and how that's going.
Ozil, there's been conversation about him probably moving away from Arsenal and all that. Yeah. So
Arteta is actually, you see, that's what I like about Arteta. If you're not part of the bus we're going on, you get off. The same thing with Guendouzi. You see, Guendouzi was very indisciplined against Brighton, and he was told, you sit a few games out, get disciplined, actually got a red card, and then did he get a red card?
No, he didn't.
He didn't get a red card, yes. Yeah. Sorry about that. So he actually was told to go, sit out, take a few days off, and actually come back to the team when you want to be with us. So Arteta has the right idea, but from the outside looking in, I just hope you guys actually just fall apart.
I'm not surprised from that last statement. I'm not even surprised coming from a Manchester United fan. But I think for me, the most probably, let me call it, depressing moment for being an Arsenal fan is the fact that sometimes you're watching a game like yesterday's game. You are ahead, and for a moment you think that you're going to win this game, and then something happens at the last moment. I think as an Arsenal fan, I hope that with time you're going to probably sort that whole issue so that...
You see, that's the thing with the Premier League. The Premier League is so unpredictable. Every team is so good. Look at Sheffield United, what they've done. Considering now they're off form, but look at Wolves, what they've done. Like, any team can beat any team in the Premier League. Even Norwich can beat Arsenal, but you won against Norwich.
Sadly.
Yeah. Okay. So teams in the Premier League are so difficult to play against. So you can't actually even predict games now. It's actually very difficult to predict. That's why I'm always saying the form plays a big part in teams winning games nowadays.
Okay. Yeah. Clint, thank you so much for finding time to come to the show. Hoping to have you again when we'll be analyzing or looking at the teams that will have probably qualified for the Champions League and for the Europa League. So that wraps up our conversation today, which was on the teams that are going to probably, which are projected to qualify for the Champions League and the Europa League. Now, every single week you usually have a segment where we talk to you about the numbers in the sport. Earlier on in the show, I was talking about beach football, and as you know the drill, that set out the theme of the day. So today we are going to be taking a closer look into the game that is beach volleyball. I beg your pardon, I know I earlier said beach football, but it is beach volleyball. Now, in case you're wondering how the beach volleyball players actually make their money, this is just a few things that you need to know about beach volleyball. Now, Walsh Jennings was the fourth American woman to earn more than $1 million in sports earnings. That's just one thing you need to understand. And then she follows three-time Olympian Holly McPeak, whose earnings reached $1 million in 2002. Now, the other notable athletes who have earned a lot from the sport include Philip Dalhousie and Todd Rogers. In case you're wondering how these athletes are actually making money, just as it is in other sporting spheres, you realize that most of these athletes make their money from endorsements that they get from different sporting companies or corporates that want to sponsor the athletes because of the brand identity that they have created over time. Now, the main sponsors in beach volleyball right now, the main sponsors in beach volleyball are Crocs and Jose Cuervo. Now, at the moment, Jose Cuervo became Pro Beach Volleyball City title sponsors in July 2011, and they are sponsoring the tournament at a paltry $500,000. Now, 8,690 individuals in the industry and a median wage of slightly more than $100,000 per year in this field of beach volleyball. Now, we quickly move on to the sports facts segment, which is a segment where we look at the interesting aspects that you did not know about a particular sport. Now, these are some of the interesting aspects that you did not know probably about beach volleyball. The first one is that the first two-man beach volleyball game was was played in 1930. We are in 2020, so you can understand how that whole sport has grown from 1930 up to this particular time. Now, the volleyball players jump around 300 times per match, but sometimes that one is also dependent on the form of the other players, because if you find that the other team is probably top notch higher than you, then you probably have to make more defenses and more attacks to beat the other team. Now, the first professional beach volleyball tournament, Olympia World Championship of Beach Volleyball, took place at Will Rogers State Beach in 1976. Now, the other aspect that you also need to understand, in 1992, beach volleyball was introduced at the Summer Olympics. In 1996, beach volleyball finally became an official Olympic sport for both men and women. And finally, beach volleyball is the only Olympic sport that has a rule prohibiting players from wearing too much. That's an interesting aspect of the sport. Now, that probably wraps up what you needed to understand about sports facts on today's Metropole Sports Center. We take a short commercial break, but when you're back, I'm going to be taking you through some of the events that you probably need to be following through this coming weekend. See you after the break.